पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त जूनी सहभंग गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त जूनी सहभंग गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त जूनी सहभंग गुर प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त जूनी सहभंग गुर प्रसाद। तन तन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब महाराज, तन तन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज। कमाले करामात कायम करीम, रजा बख्श राजक रेहाको रहीम। अमा बख्श बख्शन देओ दस्तगीर, रजा बख्श रोजी देहो दिल पजीर। शहनशाह खूबी देहो रहनमू, कि बेगूनो बेचूनो चूबे नमो। न साजो न बाजो न फौजो न फर्श, खुदावंद बख्शन देऊँ ऐशर्श। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। In Saturday sessions we are visiting different topics. I try and pick up some topics which are more confusing or which are not clear, which can lead to misunderstandings, or which is important to understand from a theological point of view, from the esoteric point of view. I remember one Shabad of Bhagat Kabir when he says that Shabad has no Shabad ke haath na paun, Shabad Sabad sabko kahe. Everybody talks of Shabad, but it has no feet and hands. What is Shabad? There is a nice word in English called allegory, something which means different in different planes. Shabad is typically an allegoric word. It has many meanings, like dharam, like naam, like hukum. We'll try and visit this intense topic of Shabad. We live in this physical world. We see from our senses, feel from our senses. Our expression of man, of the mind, is outward. This is the physical world, which is a transient, temporary homestay, not our permanent stay. ऐ जो दुनिया शहर मेला दस्तगीरी ना है. Kabir says this is a meeting for some time and nothing comes in our hand from here. So this allegorical word, Shabad, is more about the other world, that world which bewilders us, confuses us, which is all darkness, from which we don't understand anything. We don't know what is beyond this curtain of death. We don't know anything about that side of the world, the spirit world. Though we live that world, we constantly live in the physical and the spirit world. But we don't have our senses awakened to that other side. Shabad is more about word by itself. It has different meanings. First meaning, of course, is sound. So Pathri did some intense work on sound, and he gave some directions on what he felt were the different categories of sound. We'll go into that. And then when we look at Shabad beyond sound, we have the Shabad which is expressed in the Guru Granth Sahib, which we can also call Gurbani, which is the foundation stone of spirituality. Shabad is also Guru. We have done some sessions on Guru. What does Guru give us? What has happened with meeting of Guru? Shabad is also Nirankar, the Creator himself. Where does Shabad reside? Everywhere. Shabad is everywhere. Just like Guru is everywhere, Naam is everywhere, Hukam is everywhere. So Shabad is synonym with Hukam, Naam, Guru, Creator. We visited the three different planes of the expression of Guru. One being the Creator, second being the Guru Granth, or the Guru in physical form, and the third, the Guru in human form. Khalsa mero roop hai khas, Khalse mein ho karo nivas. Before we go into Shabad, let's analyze a few things about ourselves. Because all that we know about ourselves has an intense relationship with Shabad. What are we looking for? What is the state we enjoy most? And what is life's inner core question? What is the Tat Gyan, the knowledge, the experience of life? What does it carry? We know we are all looking for happiness. And we are looking for happiness forever. We don't want it temporarily. If we are happy in the day and then unhappy in the evening, our unhappiness doesn't become less by the fact that we were happy for half the day. We want permanent happiness. And the word more often used in the spiritual texts is Sada, forever, timeless. We need timeless happiness beyond anybody else's control. That's what it means. If someone else controls our happiness, that is misery. So we want freedom. The word used in the spiritual text is mukti. Now, happiness, mukti, freedom, these are two intense desires we have. And the word which is used for this is Amrit, where there is no death. No death means eternal life. Is there such a thing as eternal life? So then we need to ask, what is life? The physical world we live. Does life end with physical life? Or is there something beyond physical life? Because these are the questions we are all actually grappling with. Even if we don't voice them, even if we don't have an expression for them, but this is affecting our daily life, our everyday life. We have some issues about the physical conditions of life, the difficulties about life, the difficulties which are posed by our day-to-day desires, the hindrances to our desires, something which we want or we want to control can become an obstruction for us and become our pain. So this whole gamut of emotions, of joy, freedom, pain, death, it has all the connections with Shabad. And we don't know Shabad. Isn't that really amazing? Something which we are seeking from our inner core, we don't know what Shabad is. We don't live it. So let's first go into the first aspect of Shabad sound. He says that Sound has 4 different variations. Vaikhari, the physical, like I'm talking, the verbal sound said out with the help of tongue, or talu. So let me just for a minute say this, that the talu, the upper side of the mouth, has a deep connection with our dasam dwar, the dasam door, the 10th door. So okay, he says Vaikhari and then Madma. Madma is the sound within our mind. It is found as expression, but yet not verbalized. And then he goes one step behind that and he says Pashyanti, not yet formed, but yet there, but beyond the ego. Madma is where there is ego, Vaikhari is where there is ego, Pashyanti is where there is no ego. And then he goes to the formless sound, not yet formed. The thought idea may be there. He says that is para. Para, Pashyanti, Madma, Vaikhari. These are 4 forms of sound, which is identified in mythology. So, para, he says, is the Nirankar form, Nirakar, the creator's sound. You know, in music we have aro, avro, ascendants aro and avro descendants. So, creator comes from Shabad in aro form, and the seeker goes into para from the avro form. From the Vaikhari he moves to para, and the creator descends from para to Vaikhari. Those of you who indulge in music would know these 2 words. Sound is also light when there is darkness. So in our mind, darkness is a temporary phenomena and light is a permanent phenomena. Light symbolizes Gyan, awareness, knowledge, vibrancy. And in this in this darkness of our mind, sound is light. Because from sound we can see. When we are in a dark room and if somebody else is there, we will ask, where are you? And the person will say, I am here. So we will know where the other person is. So we are seeing the person in sound. This is the form of Shabad, where para is the sound which is present in all creation. It is the, I don't want to use the word vibrancy or vibration, but I would like to say a presence, a hazuri, an energy which is everywhere. So sound is energy. Sound can be used by dhyan in one person and to bring the other person in dhyan. If we listen intently to someone who is sitting in dhyan, the sound which that carries will take us into dhyan. We can feel the state of mind of the other person by listening to what he or she is saying intently. So Suniya is a transformative energy of our mind. And that is how spirituality gets transferred. This is the theory behind jap, behind kirtan, behind dhyan and seva. When we do seva of somebody who is in dhyan, then we also are in dhyan. So by listening to somebody who is in dhyan, we go into dhyan. So sound is a pathway of life. Shabad is the pathway of spirituality. With very little effort, a sadhak, a seeker, a murid can become the murshad. Janam maran dohu mein nahi, jan paropkari aaye. जी दान दे भक्ति लायन, हर स्यों लैंड मिलाए. Beyond life and death are these people who come. They have come for paropkar, for the philanthropy, for the other's need, desire of spirituality. They give the gift of spiritual life, jidan, and take the other into bhakti and make them meet God by meeting them. Guru Amar Das says, "Eh jiyo bahte janam parmiya, ta Satgur Shabad sunaya." When I have heard the Guru's Shabad, my wandering for generations, for lifetimes, for eons has ceased. I have found rest. I found my answers to my inner seeking. When Satgur gives me the gift of Shabad, Satgur Shabad sunaya. So Shabad is an intense pathway to our inner spirituality, to our inner awakening, to our inner hunger for happiness, to our seeking of Anand, to our answer of death, to our answers for all this confusion of life, and to the answer of what is beyond me. What am I? Where am I going? Where am I coming from? We are all seeking the same thing in that way. In the physical sense, we differ. But in spirituality, there is only one. There is no two. Maharaj says, "Dasam dwar kunji jab dije, tab dayal ko darshan kije." When you are given the door of the key to the 10th door, then you will see the Creator. You will see God. You will know God. Like we see this physical realm, more real than that. This is the Shabad sound. Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj was asked this question by the yogis. This is a difficult place, they say, this earth. How do I go across this physical life? Explain to me. Maharaj answers that question. Duniya sagar duttar kahiye, kyun kar paiye paro. Duniya is like an ocean, sagar. Duttar, difficult. How do I go across, Maharaj? Guru Nanak Sahib is in Achal, Batala, in the mandir of the yogis on Shivrat, in the last year of Guru Nanak Sahib's physical life, 70th year. The month is February, March, and these question answers are happening in the gathering of so many yogis. All of them descend from the mountains for this Shivrat Mela. Maharaj says, "Jaise jal mein kamal niralam, murgai ne saane, surt shabad pav sagar tariye, Nanak naam bakhane." Are you understanding this? Are we able to fathom the depth of these words? What is life is being understood here. How do I solve the mystery of life? How do I find that eternal place of my rest, where my wandering has ceased, my hunger is gone, and I no longer feel incomplete, where there is no pain of separation, no pain of fear, and there is love. There is no pain of the temporary shifting of worlds, the ever-changing mind, the insecurity of what will happen to me tomorrow. All this is gone. Sadhu uses the word samagaya. He has merged with his creator. He has found the creator and merged with him. Now he doesn't need anything to feel happy. He is already happy. His desires don't define him anymore. There is no hunger for anything left. All that is wanted is found, is got. He lives it now. He doesn't think about it and wander for it. He or she doesn't look in desperation and see how I can find an answer to my confusion. How can I find an answer to my wandering? And what will happen to me beyond death? All these questions are intensely related to Shabad. ए जियो बहुते जन्म परमिया ता सतगुर शब्द सुनाया. Many lifetimes we have been seeking this Shabad. But when we heard it from the Guru, then we have found the Shabad. This is the ultimate reality of Shabad, the meaning of this allegorical word Shabad, which we are all trying to understand today. And what does Shabad do? How does Shabad define my spirituality? How do I come face to face with my Guru through Shabad? Maharaj says, Kya paviye sat sucha hoye. This is the Rahav of this Baani called Siddh Gosht. Kya paviye sat sucha hoye. Why are you wandering? He says. When you meet truth, you will become pure. Sat sucha hoye. Saat shabad bin mukt na koi. Without the Shabad, nobody finds freedom. We all want freedom. One of the desires for wealth and money is directly related to our desire for freedom. We seek freedom because if we have money, we feel free. We can buy what we want, look after ourselves with that money. That is a symbol of freedom for us. But this is the physical freedom. There is a spiritual freedom which we have not found, where our wandering thoughts are craving for this rest within us. The calmness, the centering, the peace, where we can enjoy this freedom. Shabad is directly related to this freedom. Maharaj says, Shabad is also Naam. Shabad is also Hukam. Shabad is Guru and Shabad is a Nirankar. Shabad is the creator. And then Shabad is the antidote to the reason for our pain. When he asked this question, how mein kitho upje, kit sanjam hai jaye, where does how mein ego come from and how does it go? Because ego is what we are. I only know myself through the ego. This body is our first identity to me. but I am not the body is the reality of the spiritual life. How do I get to that point where I can live beyond my body? Bade. Where I know a reality of life where there is no body, but I am. इस मन को कोई खोजो पाई, तन छूटे मन कहाँ समाई. What does the Shabad do about the ego is one of the core questions, because ego is our hindrance and our tool. It's a double-edged sword. We live the ego, we only know life through ego, but we actually know spirituality beyond the ego. And that's the role of the Guru. Guru takes us beyond the ego. We cannot go beyond the ego ourselves. And this is the role of Shabad Maharaj. In the Japji, Guru Sahib talks about the role of Shabad in many places. But something which I really found magical was the Sram Khand. Sram Khand ki Baani Roop. तिथे काड़त कड़िए बहुत अनूप, तां कियां गल्लां कथियां ना जाए, जे को कहे पिछे पछताए. तिथे कड़िए सुरत मत मन बुद्ध, तिथे कड़िए सुरा सिदा की सुध. See what he says, that here the Shabad is chiseling and purifying the mind. Because Shabad is Naam, Shabad is the route to our Creator. This is what the question was. Hukum kitho upje, kit sanjam mein jaye. Haume kitho upje, kit sanjam mein jaye. Haume eho hukum hai, paiye kirt phiraye. Haume is the part of the Creator's order. That is how we all are created, Maharaj. And that is why we are all wandering. If we don't know how to go beyond home, beyond ego, then there is a problem. Home dirgh rog hai, then it becomes a disease. But daru bhi ismae, the solution is also within the ego. Maharaj, what is the solution? Kirpa kare je apni, the Gur Prasad of the Guru. The embrace of the Guru, the transferring of spirituality from the Guru to the Sikh, from the Murid, Murshid to the Murid, from the lover to the seeker, the transferring of this spirituality, this embrace, this Gur Prasad, it happens through Shabad. ऐ जियो बहुते जन्म परमिया ता सतगुर शब्द सुनाया. Then Maharaj says, हमें दीर्घ रोग है, दारू भी इसमें है, कृपा करे जे अपनी ता गुर का शब्द कमाए. If he has blessed us, if the Creator has embraced us, if the Creator has found, gifted us with love and Anand, then he will give us Shabad. Where does this Shabad go? Where does it rest? Where does it connect? These are the questions we need to know. Nanak kahe suno jano, it sanjam dukh jaye. Maharaj says, this is the way pain goes away, sorrow goes away. Kit kit bid Jakub je purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. How does the world created, Maharaj? And how does my pain and sorrow, my wandering, my hunger, my seeking go away, Maharaj? Kit kit bid Jagup je purkha. Maharaj says, home with Jagup je purkha. Through the ego the world is created, because then the ocean and the droplets are changed. We are separated from the ocean and become a droplet. and I become separated from my Creator. Guru Amar Das says, live chutki, lagi trishna, maya amar vartaya. When I have taken birth, my connection, my live to my Creator is broken. And desire becomes the environment of the ego. Ego and desire are two things which go together. Ego has an acidic environment. It seeks desire, and from desire come pain, come fear, come sorrow. These are all related to the ego. This is the trap, the sugar-coated pill we all embrace willingly. When we seek something we like, that sugar-coated pill, it looks nice, but it traps us. Because every karam we do is a trap. So the ego world is dominated by the karam, by the actions we do. And the Gur Prasad world is dominated by the nadar, by embrace of the Creator, by the blessing of the Creator, where I am not. Home vich jagupje purkha, naam visariye dukh pai. When we forget the Creator, we find pain. Bhai Nandlal also says a similar thing. He says that forgetting the Creator is the pain of life. Living the ego and not connected to its source, we are struggling, always missing the boat, always missing the train, never able to reach our goal, never be satiated, never be fulfilled. I always like to understand and explain Shabad through water. When we grew up, we used to have these bore wells in the house. And often when the bore well had left the water, we would put in water from the top so that the air vacuum goes away and the pump can suck the water from the ground. This is the avro, the descendants into the ascendance into the para. When we say the Shabad in Vakri, we are inviting ourselves to go into the para, the formless Creator. So when we pour in Shabad from the senses, then we break the senses from the moving world. How we are now completely in an environment of thought, always thinking, whatever the thoughts. But the thoughts are an expression of our ego, of me. Now when I replace the thought with Shabad, then I have changed the environment of the man in the physical sense. That's why Maharaj says that you need to vichar the Shabad. Dithe mukta na hovi, jechar Shabad na kari vichar. Analyze what the Shabad is saying, know what it is saying, and then implement it in your life. And when he talks about meditating on the Shabad, the thoughtless mind, the non-thinking mind, there the power of Shabad is far more intense, far more meaningful, far more creative, far more freeing and empowering than anywhere else. Which is what he says, Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. This is the mint, the taksal, where wealth is created in the mind through Shabad. So Shabad is forming the mind, is chiseling the mind. Shabad is our meeting Sach. Sach Shabad bin Mukt na koi. When we meet Shabad in the changing mind, the mind becomes sthir, becomes stable. It becomes restful. it finds its centering in Shabad. How does that happen, Maharaj? Maharaj says, Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao. Gao, sing this or say out this Shabad. And while you are saying it, listen to it intently. Internalize your mind. So Shabad is used to make the mind dhyanast, to bring it into dhyan. Munda santokh, saram pat choli, dhyan ki karo vibhoot, khintha kaal, kuari kaya, jugat danda parteet. Ai panthi sagal jamati, man jeete jag jeet. How do I win the mind, Maharaj? How do I transcend the moving mind? How do I find stability in my mind, the thirghar? Maharaj says, Santokh, effort sram pat choli, dhyan ki karo vibhoot. Merge your Shabad with dhyan. What is this dhyan, Maharaj? When Guru is asked, who is your Guru? Guru Nanak is asked this question. Maharaj, who is your Guru? Kavan mool, kavan matvela, kavan Guru, kiska tu chela? Whose chela are you, Guru Nanak? Who has transferred his spirituality to you? How it has happened? Pavan aram satgur matvela, Shabad Guru surt tun chela. Maharaj says, Shabad is the Guru. Shabad is the Creator. Shabad is the God. जैसी में आवे खसम की बाणी तैसड़ा करी ज्ञान वे लालो. वाहो वाहो बाणी निरंकार है. So Guru Arjan Sahib is the physical Guru. And when he is composing, compiling, editing the Guru Granth Sahib, he is sleeping in the ground and he keeps the pothi on a higher level. He respects the Shabad more than his physical body. The Guru walks with the Bani barefoot. The Shabad is the Guru, Maharaj. Shabad is the energy which will transfer me from my physical to my spiritual self. Shabad is the source which transforms my mind and opens the door of the Dasandwar. Take me beyond the Trikuti, the third eye, to the Dasandwar. Open the doors of Anand Paya Meri Maaye Satguru mein paya. Take me to the door of celebration. Take me the door where the Creator is residing, where my house, my permanent home is. Thir ghar baiso, har jan pyare, Satgur tumre kaaj saware. Satgur tumre kaaj saware. We come to the Guru with so many of our desires to be completed. Guru says all of them are resolved through Thirghar, through Shabad. Maharaj tells us that Surt is the meeting place of the Shabad. The environment where Surt meets the Shabad is where this magic happens. And the Surt and Shabad have no place for ego, no place for you and me, but all the place for our inner spirituality. All the place where we have dropped our facades of I am and rested the mind in the Creator is. In Naam, in love, in grace of the Gur Prasad, in the embrace of the Guru, in the giving up our moving mind and finding the Guru forever, resting with the Guru. That is what it means when we bow to the Guru. When we bow and put our head on the Guru's feet, that's what it means. I give up myself. I give up my moving mind. I give up my ego mind. I don't want this package. I want that which is Sada. अब मोहे खूब वतन गया पाई, ऊहा खैर सदा मेरे पाई. Now I have found a great city, a great place to reside, where I am looked after forever. Uha khair sada mere pai. That's the seeking of the sadhu. That's the desire of giving up the ego and going into the space where there is no me. Main nahi kich hoon nahi kich ahe na mora. But while living this physical world. रे मन ऐसो कर संन्यासा, बन से सदन सब है कर समझो, मन ही माहिस उदासा. Don't disconnect physically, but your mind doesn't have expectation from the moving mind. It is not seeking these temporary joys which are coming from life. It doesn't seek them. It knows they are temporary. It accepts that they will be gone one day. Asa mahe nirasa. Nirasa. I have no expectations. I have acceptance as my flavor of life. I want to know the answers to my inner turmoil, to the hunger for my rest and peace and love, which I am seeking every day, and I find and I get disappointed in it, in the physical sense. I go every day seeking, but I never find it. I find it temporarily and it goes away. Jo balu ki peet, like a mound of sand washed away with water, blown away by air. That's the depth of my whole experience of life. But Shabad is a far more intense experience. How do I befriend the Shabad? How does Shabad transform me internally? How does Shabad open the doors within me which reveal the permanent reality of life, the rest which we all seek? He says through the Vakri, Gaviye, Suniye, Man Rakhiye Pao. You will find love within yourself. Dukh par har sukh kar le jaye. And the pain goes away and you find that permanent home of Sukh, of Anand. Anand being happiness without reason. The environment of the space where I have reached is Anand. So how does Shabad do this? Maharaj says that when the mind is stable and the Shabad has worked on the mind, Ahran Mat Ved Hatyar. Ahran Mat is the anvil on which the goldsmith works and hammers apart and forms it. Ahran is the anvil. So my mind becomes stable and it is worked on by the Shabad. What is the Shabad doing? Kadiye. It's always chiseling the mind, purifying it, preparing it for its journey to the subtle. Takes away its attachment to the physical, takes away the attachment to the temporary, takes away the attachment to that which is the ego, and makes it, prepares it for the journey where the ego will go. This is the work of the Shabad. What is Shabad? The defined Shabad is what is in Guru Granth Sahib. Shabad is what's coming from the Para, which is coming from the undefined. Kya paviye sat sucha hoy, saat Shabad bin mukt na koi. Then he says, where does this mind come from? That the Nirakar and Sakar, where is it flowing from? What is this connection to the Shabad? So Maharaj says that this Shabad connects us to our Creator. The mind is connected to the Shabad, it finds its rest, and then it goes into Ajapa. So when I have started Vaikhari, I am saying out the Shabad. Now I have said it so much that it is internalized. It's in the Man. I am saying it, but it is yet there in the Man. Now I don't need to say it, it's always there. So in the Man, in the Madma, and then I keep saying it in the Madma, and it goes into Pashyanti. Now I am not saying it. Now it is happening. Now it is being experienced. Now the ego is gone. The Shabad has taken me to a new world where Shabad is and I am not, where I can witness the Shabad, but I am no longer the doer. The doer has gone away. The ego has gone. This is called Ajapa Jap. The Jap which is done and not being done, which is heard, experienced, but not being done. Jap so Ajapa Jape. So this is the role of the Guru, of the Shabad. The Guru makes us transcend the ego. This is what gives us dhyan, the surt, the unmoving mind. The non-thinking mind is connected to Shabad. Kadiye surt mat man buddh. And here is where the mind now gets chiseled, purified through Naam. Par ye mat papa ke sang, o tope naame ke rang. So how do I meet my Creator? How do I meet Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj? How do I meet Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib Hajur? How do I know the Nirakar? All the answers are in Shabad. If I befriend the Shabad to a degree where my mind is connected to that degree that it's stabilized, it's found its anchor. Bhai Gurdas says that Thamme koi na sadh bin. Nobody finds stability without the sadhu. Shabad is the sadh, the anchor of the world. And the Shabad is ever present in all creation. There is nowhere that Shabad is not. So this is the experience of the Shabad. Gurmat kat chanana, Shabad mile har nao. And Shabad is Naam. Shabad is Anand. Maharaj again and again explains this to us, that home Shabad jalai. Home, ego, is burnt by Shabad. We transcend home through Shabad. We transcend the ego mind through Shabad. Kit kit bid jag upje purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. Home bid jag upje purkha, naam bisariye dukh pai. So what should I do, Maharaj? Find a Shabad, Mool Mantar, any other Shabad, apart from your daily, something which you can meditate on, which you can befriend to a degree where you are thoughtless and it's always moving with you, where your love for Creator comes and finds its expression. This is the way to find the answers of life. This is the way to find our inner spirituality, find our Anand. This is the way to transcend the moving mind. If anyone has questions, please pose them so we can address them before we. Are Shabad and Naam the same? Ji, they are the same. Shabad, Naam, Hukam, Nirankar, Guru, they are all the same. So if anyone has questions, you can please write them out. The upper tongue is the palate, which is Dasandwar. No. Dasandwar is at the top of the head. The talu is where the dhyan for the Dasandwar happens. So the tongue touches that all the time. Ji. How do we know the presence of Shabad? Jin prem kiyo tin hi prapayo. We feel the love for Guru. We know the presence of Shabad. Also, it's important that we are used to this environment of the physical world. So my natural instinct is always moving outward. He says that we are always seeking outside, not inside. That's our natural instinct. To curb our natural instinct takes time. So we need to befriend Shabad to a degree where our natural flow of outward energy becomes inward. Where he says when you are moving outside, you are going to get big poison, bitterness. But when you go inward, you will find Amrit. So our natural instinct is to move outward because that's how we have lived all our lives. But when we befriend the Shabad, we'll start going inward. Our natural instinct changes. So Meera ji asked this question, what is the best way to attain perfection in Shabad? Shabad in Sangat is the best way. If you can find an environment where we find rest and then we connect to Shabad, that's the best way of befriending it intensely. And then we find our dhyan. The more stable the mind is, the more effect Shabad will have. Surt and Shabad. So, if we don't find Sangat, we can say it out at home. We can sit down with Shabad. We can say it out repetitively at a certain time, find a space for it. If we find Sangat, serious people who indulge in Shabad, that will help. Sangat is an empowering energy. Find one Shabad which we can work on throughout our lives and befriend it. Brahm Rudra, I don't know what Brahm Rudra is, but it's the crown chakra of the body. Ji. If the mind is perturbed due to external circumstances, how do we save? So who is disturbing the mind? Our attitude to live only externally is what is guiding and defining us. We are always going only outward. So there is no balance. My energies are constantly moving only outward. I need to find some balance. So some time and energy going inward at the same time will change the environment. He says this in the Shabad, that you are not going out, you are not going inward, always you go outward. And that is the problem. That's where, so if we are always going seeking energy, our life is defined by our external seeking, then we are the ones who are making the choice. So we need to balance it with some internal seeking, and then we can find our balance in the long run. You can We are impacted because that's our only awareness of life. We only know life in the physical. We don't know the spiritual life. But we can feel love even in the thought, in ego. When you feel love, there is no ego. At that time, either love will be unconditional love, not the I am, not the I am love. The unconditional love is only found within us when there is no ego. But yet we can be in the ego and temporarily feel the love and go back into ego. If that's what you mean, yes. Does the presence mean finding the Guru in completion? Finding the Guru in completion means that we are completely devoid of the ego. It takes time. But that's the road to go. जी, क्राउन चक्कर, हाँ जी. So this is the talk on Shabad. If there are any more questions, then we can culminate today's session with Anand Saab. जी. Any more questions? We'll wait. There's a hand, Harneet. You want to ask a question or say Anand Saab?
No, I was just seeking your permission for an answer.
Achha, we'll wait for a few minutes for some questions.
Sure.
Shabad is the Guru, is the energy which makes us transcend the ego. And that's our confusion of life. We always seek only physical Guru. Any more questions? Then we will conclude with the Anand Saab, if there are no more questions. Hanji Harneet, I don't think there are any more questions. Can we say the Anand Saab, please? Hanji.
Sure. Waheguru Ji, Ram Kali Mahla Tija, Anand Ek Onkar Satguru Prasad. Anand Paya Meri Maain, Satguru Main Paya, Satgurta Paya Sehaj Sethi, Man Bachiyan Badaiyan, Raag Ratan Parvar Pariyan, शब्द गावण आइया शब्दो तंगावो हरि केरा मंजनी बसाया कहे नानक आनंद होगा सतगुरु में पाया ए मन मेरिया तुम सदा रहो हर नाल रहो तुम मन मेरे दुख सब विसारना अंगीकार ओ करे तेरा कारज सब सवारना सबना गना समरथ स्वामी सो क्यों मनो विसारे कहे नानक मन मेरे सदा रहूं हर नाले साचे साहिबा क्या नहीं कर तेरा करता तेरे सब किछ है जिस देह सो पावे सदा सिफत सलाह तेरी नाम मन वसावे नाम जिनके मन वसिया वाजे शब्द कनेरे कहे नानक सच्चे साहिब क्या नहीं कर तेरे साचा नाम मेरा आधारो साच नाम आधार मेरा ਜਿਨ ਭੁੱਖਾਂ ਸਭ ਗਮਾਈਆਂ, ਕਰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸੁਖ ਮਨ ਆਏ ਵਸਿਆ। ਜਿਨ ਇੱਛਾ ਸਭ ਪੁਜਾਈਆਂ, ਸਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਟਹੁ। ਜਿਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਹ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ, ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣੋ ਸੰਤੋ। ਸ਼ਬਦ ਧਰੋ ਪਿਆਰੋ, ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ। ਬਾਜੇ ਪੰਜ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਿਤ ਘਰ ਸੁਭਾਗੈ, ਘਰ ਸੁਭਾਗੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਬਾਜੇ। ਕਲਾ ਜਿਤ ਕਰ ਧਾਰੀਆਂ, ਪੰਜ ਦੂਤ ਤੁਧ ਬਸ ਕੀਤੇ। ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰਿਆ, ਤੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੁਧ ਜਿਨ ਕੋ। ਸੇ ਨਾਮ ਹਰਿ ਕੇ ਲਾਗੇ, ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੈਂ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਵਾ। ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਬਾਜੇ, ਆਨੰਦ ਸੁਣੋ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ। ਸਗਲ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਪੂਰੇ, ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਾਇਆ। ਉਤਰੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਿਸੂਰੇ, ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ। ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ, ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਭਏ ਸਰਸੇ। ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ, ਸੁਣਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਤੇ ਪਵਿੱਤ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਭਰਪੂਰੇ, ਬਿਨ ਮੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ। ਬਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਤੂਰੇ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ। ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ, ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹਤ। ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੋਇ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੈ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ। ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਿਆਈਆਂ, ਬਾਚੈ ਧਰਮ ਹਦੂਰ। ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ, ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਹੋਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁਟੀ ਮਾਲ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਜੀ।